Happy New Year's, Aquarius, and welcome to your 2025, a universal year 9. I've been doing some videos that I hope you're able to catch that really describe what a universal year 9 means for the collective, because it's really for the collective. Free thinkers, which you are. I feel like there's a lot of different energies going to be called into play for this year. Um, and I feel like you carry a lot of that energy. So don't be surprised if you get like this feeling to, learn about something, but then only to use it. You know what I mean? It's just a time to follow your whim. Let's put it that way. This could be certainly a year where, what's not working. It's like that final push, right? We're cleaning house. We're using the broom, sweeping out the old, you know, and starting with a clean slate. So, as love goes for you, I feel like as money goes for you, first of all, um, it feels good. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of new businesses, you know. Again, it feels like it's you following, something that piques your interest, or let's say you have a business, or even whatever you're doing. I feel it just feels like the energy is much freer around it, where I feel, like I don't know, like the last 6 months of 2024 kind of felt like trudging through the mud. Love for you also seems very good around February. So again, what's working, what's not working. And, it's a time to just keep your heart open if you want love. If you don't, it's always up to you. Doesn't mean it always stops it, because I feel like love happens in unexpected ways. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking so much. Aquarius, this is for Aquarius sun, moon, rising. My brother, he is passed on, but his birthday was the 24th. And Sacred, I know you share his birthday. I just literally saw your comment. Um, Also, my daughter has an Aquarius moon. Um, And I don't know. I feel like I think a lot like an Aquarius, like, if I was Aquarius. So I probably have Aquarius in my chart. You think I'd have my chart done, but I didn't. Maybe that's the next thing. I've been really like studying up on numerology, because I love adding that into your readings along with our spirit guides. I feel like that's why we get like clear answers. Anyways, Aquarius, sun, moon, rising. Those intuitively guided, this is a year for everyone to really pay attention to their intuition. Like, I feel like everything's going to be a sign. And just follow it, And if it's something you decide, just take a step forward in it. And if you decide, you know what, I don't think I want to go that way, you can always change course. But you just may, again, find yourself, with a different life, but a good life, an interesting life. You know what I mean? Um, so those are duly guided. Thank you. You could certainly be in love with an Aquarius, whether it be platonically, romantically. Same thing. I read through my guides who connect to your guides, so they know you're here. Um, I just say if you're here, no matter what brought you, just be open to the messages. Just be open. Okay? Especially because we're entering into this new cycle. This is the end of a 9-year cycle. The end. You know, I feel like it's the hermit's energy. And it's a good thing, That means soaking up wisdom, truth within oneself. Anyway, I don't want to keep talking. Um, I brought out the romance angels in case love comes up. We are going to use the major arcanas again, for like bullet points, but they tell their own little story, and then with your main spread, they will, it'll be very clear. We're going to use, not use, we're going to take Mother Mary's words of wisdom and clarify. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot. And when I say clarify, I just mean go deeper. Let's go deep. This is the first month of the year. So I really hope we get very clear messages and real guidance about, what's ahead. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give Mother Mary a shuffle. Um, and anyone who's new, I do pre-shuffle the decks before I even begin. Like it's my time to really meditate. There's something about shuffling that just puts me in that meditative state. And it's really when I'm open to, it's like when I'm opening to my guides. Um, but I do like to shuffle with you here also. So let's give them a cut. And I'm sorry about your long intro, but I do feel like everything was meant to be because I already know. I feel like someone's already gonna write, um, like when the reading actually starts. But to me, a reading starts the minute I hit start. You know what I mean? But I get it. Not everybody's got that patience. Self-respect. Self-respect. I honor and love myself through my healthful actions. Well, and interesting because January isn't that when we're all setting like our intentions. Um, and I feel like saying like this year when you set your intentions, like I don't know, set them from a place where I feel like where you can see it in your mind's eye. So it's like being real with yourself, um, but also like trusting in divine. And I'm just picking this up intuitively. Like I feel like trust in divine to guide you. Um, and again, I get this feeling like there's just signs everywhere. Sign everywhere, sign. So, anyways, what I was talking about with this energy though is it reminds me of like, you know, we all say, I'm gonna get in shape this year or, I'm gonna stop this or what have you. But this year I feel like, whatever it is, whatever intentions you set, like mean it. Not that you didn't mean it before, but like, you know, just know that you can do it. All right. I'm actually going to bring the lid down. There we go. And let me put Mother Mary away. We may bring her back out like at the end of the reading. Let's go ahead and give the major arcanas a shuffle. Cut. One of the main reasons I cut my cards is to me and to my guides a symbol that first of all I want to introduce the new deck, the next deck into a reading. Mother Mary opening the reading. So it's like a symbol to me, just so you know, if anybody's even interested. We have the Empress. The Empress. It's a beautiful energy to go into 2025 with. This is someone who has definitely been through it, but it's really about her using her wisdom now. You know what I mean? Like she's not going to say no. Well, let me put it a different way. As opportunity comes her way, I don't feel like she'd naturally say no because this is someone who really does trust their intuition. But she's been through, I feel the past of all the queens. So I've been there. I've done that type of energy. Um, but I've also extracted the wisdom, and I often feel the Empress is someone, because she's compassionate, like she wants to help others. Um, she is very creative, and I feel like this is going to be a very creative year for you. And, some within your existing, what you're doing, let's say. Others, I feel like it's going to be brand new. And some of you don't even know yet, because I feel like something's going to spark your interest. And I feel like this is a year just to follow it. Um, the Empress is loving and nurturing. She's learned. I'm sure she's had times where she's closed her heart down, but she's learned because her intuition is so strong that I don't have to build up walls and what have you, right? Like, I'm going to stay me. I'm going to stay compassionate. But I'm also nobody's fool. Picking up a lot from her. She's the mother figure. Well, hello, Destiny. That's good. Um, that means that you're moving into a destiny year, and to me, what that means is that certain seeds have already been planted, and these seeds could have been planted before you even were born. You as a soul planted certain seeds to probably come up at the right time. This person is blindfolded though, spinning this wheel, so to me it means blind faith, but nonetheless, still turning, right? She's still ready to, and I feel like it's like what it's saying is there's not a lot of, I'm not putting a whole lot of expectations, or another way of saying, something doesn't have to show exactly how I see it. Um, it's really trusting that whatever is meant to come about will come about. We have the devil, card of Capricorn, um, your neighbor, Tower. Now, I have to tell you, to me, this feels good. And I'll tell you why. Because the devil often talks about temptations, the things, the energy that tempted me. Um, it can be very charming type energy. The devil can certainly cast delusions, but the tower, I have to be honest, I feel like the tower um, puts the end to that. So whatever energy had kept me, let's say in the past, I feel like no longer has that power. It just feels like it no longer has that power. Um, yet it is showing, the struggle at one time. But also, it's like the universe was helping you to overcome, a certain type of energy. And it could even be like I kept getting attracted to the same type of person. And I think it's really important that we ask ourselves, where is our own energy? Because through the law of attraction, actually many laws of the universe, um, the universe must meet us where we're at. And if we're in the Empress's energy, I mean, it's like the world is your oyster. And then, well, hello, Temperance. So divine timing, blind faith, divine timing. I often feel, and you can see it in this image, where I feel like temperance really is, if this is speaking of love at all. And I do feel like it's speaking of soulmates, but it doesn't have to be love. It could just be the right person comes along, you find a best friend, someone that you meet that's new, and then it's like, God, I feel like I'm not, and you're best friends. But it can certainly also stand for love. What it really means is first is about patience. So maybe, the tower with the devil energy, that tower ending that could have been part of the patience, but then also trusting in divine timing. So what I love about temperance is you can kind of let go of, again, like put the intention out there, but then kind of just let it go, let it be. Trust, right? That it'll reach whatever or whoever it needs to reach. Let me grab a drink real quick. Even temperance following the tower. That's why I feel like even though the tower can be difficult, um, we can certainly overcome them. And temperance, like recognizing the fact, like it's almost like your guide just saying, listen, we're with you during the light, the things that you celebrate, but also your dark times. Like we're always with you. And, we're always trying to show you the light. I feel like, you're trusting. A universal year 9 is a perfect time, again, for anything like, let's just say, energy that just tempts me, that I know is no good. This is a year, it's a year of truth. So you won't be able to deny the truth, your own truth. You can try. You can, paint the picture that you denied it, but, within, you can't deny it. And again, it's a good thing because if, something like in the tower, something collapsed, this is saying this is not the end. This is really just the beginning. Maybe an end of one thing, but it doesn't feel like it was, it probably served you in a way that it taught you. And I feel like it's important that we know our shadow self, what tempts us, understand why. It can tie back to like childhood. Sometimes we don't think we're worthy, um, where that's an illusion. Remember, the devil casts illusions. These illusions could feel very real. However, the tower, well, let that truck go by. It's crazy. I live in a country. I don't sound like a major, like 18 wheeler. Anyway, um, I just love that divine is right there by the tower. So I wouldn't be surprised if some universal energy or divine energy. Look at this. Okay, my deck's in the upright. Ten of Swords, right away, in reverse. Hello, next chapter. You know, there's a pattern that I feel some of you had that you recognize that. And with that recognition, I feel like you're letting it go. Definitely standing in your own powers. Like I'm not taking swords anymore. These swords are falling out of your back. So, the past can't, only if you allow it. Um, it won't play a part in your future, your present, nor your future. So, you're letting go. You're having realizations and, you know, maybe you're even forgiving. Like, because I feel like the swords are just coming out of you and it is a new you. I mean, that's a great image to start with in reverse. And I don't always read reversals. Well, I do if they come face up, but when they're face down, I don't always read them. But man, that one let me know that no, I am meant to be face down, like these swords are meant to be falling out of you. Three cups, something to celebrate. There's that 33 following me around again. 33. And I know some of you have a master number 33. And that is about love. That is about pure love. And, because I see 33 so often, I feel like, even if we don't have a master number 33 life path, um, I feel like the energy, it's important to, um, I don't know what I was going to say. But anyway, this is the energy of joy. This is a reason to celebrate. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles looking right back at that Three of Cups. Like he has this pentacle he wants or is giving. We'll see. Hello, Ten of Cups. Holy crap. So, right off the bat, and by the way, I really did feel February was going to be like just the beginning of, you know, well, let's say it depends where you're at. Um, but I mean, look at the difference. The Ten of Swords, right? At one time, those swords were piercing me over and over again. That's the devil in the tower. And here it is, like literally coming to an end. Not only is it coming to an end, but like the swords are, it's almost like you're forgetting them. You know what I mean? Like, or at least the weight of them. And now we're replacing the 10 with the 10 of cups, connected to this king. I'm not going to leave off the table that it could be a potential Capricorn. Is this opportunity or is this love? Well, this king has cups on both sides of him, and he's right under the wheel. So I feel like whatever he's bringing to the table, he is part of this new chapter. I read somewhere on um, New Year's Eve at midnight, you should open your door and as a symbol of letting out the old and welcoming the new. So I'm going to try it this year. We have the Two of Pentacles. All right. Well, that puts the ball in your court. That you making a decision. Um, they call it the Juggler's card. So sometimes it could just simply mean, you know, can I fit this in? I have a lot of balls in the air right now. But honestly, I feel like it's using more of your logical mind. So I'm not making a fear-based decision. I'm making a real life, grounded, maybe think about it, don't overthink it type decision. because it's sitting next to the Ten of Cups, and that could be potentially for the rest of your life. Maybe someone pops a question. I'm not going to leave off the board that this king could be a Capricorn. We have the Death card. I don't know why I took so many cards across. Death card in reverse. Um, Interesting because it's like this person in the Two of Pentacles is deciding whether to close the door and maybe move into like this Ten of Cups energy or not. And it's coming under the Tower. So even though I feel like it's using your logical mind, there could be a previous tower that might still be part of like your decision making. The Ten of Swords in reverse is a great thing. Um, but it may not be an overnight thing. You know what I mean? It might like it may not be like all of them fall off, but I do feel like they fall off pretty quickly. All right, well, let's keep going. Also, card of Scorpio. Look at this. Why are we getting everything in reverse? The Ace of Cups in reverse. You know, the Ace of Cups is here, no matter what. Um, and I feel like what this is telling me is that where you took a lot of these swords, these daggers, usually in the back, but here this person's face up. So it's almost like they knew they were coming. You know why? Because it's probably a repeat pattern, and it's probably something that just keeps resulting in the Tower. But because it's reversed, I feel like number one, you have that realization. Number two, I feel I can see why the Two of Pentacles is trying to make a decision, and the Tower is affecting him a little bit because I do feel like a lot of these daggers were like on an emotional level. And I feel the Death card is more about you um deciding whether you're gonna let's just say love back in your life. Because I get this feeling that, you know, first of all, this Ace of Cups attached to the Ten of Swords tells me that there was probably a repeat pattern as it relates to love. Um, and maybe you kept getting tempted to maybe the same person or the same type of energy. Um, but then again, I feel like it was really about you learning because the Empress, that's what she does. And once you realize that, holy crap, and I'm in a repeat pattern, if I do this again, it's only going to result in this tower again. I'm tired of it. Um, so I could see where some of you may be hesitant about like closing the door. I feel more to um you letting love in. You know, it's being represented by joy. You have the Ten of Cups, which speaks about True love, it's a house of harmony, playfulness, laughter. I imagine in this house, like the radio's playing in the background. Maybe we're cooking in the kitchen. A song comes on and we stop and we do this little dance. Like, that's the kind of what I'm seeing type of love. Like, you can't walk past each other without at least touching hands. We have justice. Well, so, uh, some of you are making, you either have made a decision to cut ties with, again, whatever was a repeat pattern. I do feel like it's a person, to be honest. But it can be different for different people. I do know that. Um, but it also, injustice shows up in a reading. When you don't use the sword, your life feels unbalanced. You just feel unbalanced. You don't feel good. It's like you're more worried than you are happy. And it's interesting because when I see the people in the Ten of Cups, it's joy. Like, it's real love. It's playful. It's conversation. It's like everything is flowing. Ten of Swords, everything is restriction. And someone could definitely been the type of person where with the Death card in reverse, could have been someone who reminds me of like the King of Cups. If he's in reverse, then I would say run, because that means this is someone who can easily show their emotion to others, but maybe not to you. And that's their own lack mentality, by the way. So, using that sort of justice, first of all, I feel like I know what it's talking about. And I know it's talking in the area of love, so it could be, I hate to say marriage, but we do have the Empress, which can talk about, becoming a single mom. But it can even just be a relationship. I'm saying just a relationship. I was in a 25-year relationship. It wasn't just a relationship. You know what I mean? But then again, I feel the Empress represents the lessons you've been learning. Um, Interesting. The lessons you've been learning, but also how you've been growing and evolving yourself. We have the Strength card, and then we have the Seven of Swords. Okay. So if we just look at this bottom line, it's very clear what's going on here. Seven of Swords does talk about untrustworthy energy, and it is mirroring the devil right now. Um, and the Death card being in reverse again, Scorpio, and if Scorpio's in reverse, then I don't know. Well, I do know I was married to one, who was in reverse. Like, started cheating within 6 months of our relationship, to the point where I said to him one day, I'm like, I don't even know why you asked me to marry you. Like, you clearly don't want to be married, so. But he was the type who wanted his cake and eat it too, and it's interesting because, not that I wish any negativity upon him, but he's living alone, you know, um, it's almost like I could see his karma coming back to him. And it's not that I wish it upon him, I just feel like I could just see it. But anyway, this is about you really overcoming. you know, those who were untrustworthy, those who, potentially told you lies, those who, held back their love for whatever reason, maybe even had you on a hook for a while, because again, I feel like this is probably was not the first time. Um, but again, it feels like it's time for a change of energy. Do you have to be ready? Yes. And I feel like that's why the Empress is here first and foremost. And mirroring temperance, which is all about divine timing, but also patience. Sometimes I do feel like divine's waiting on us, to have these realizations, but also maybe even helping you in that area. So, I could have just certainly like closed myself down to love for a little while. And maybe I feel like, and if that's the case, I don't feel like there was wasted time because I feel like you yourself wanted to evolve, and maybe you were already evolving. And as our energy evolves, those who don't naturally like want to fade away. Like naturally, the universe wants them to fade away. It's our humanness that keeps pulling them back in again, because that's kind of what I feel here. I feel like it may have taken the tower 3 times before it finally set in. But again, but yeah, the strength card says you will overcome this. The Ten of Swords in reverse tells me the same thing. The Ace of Cups in reverse. I feel like at this moment, you know, even though we have the Empress who is, does learn to keep her heart open, stays loving and nurturing, not all the time, um, but also has a right to be like, well, not yet. Though the wheel is getting ready to spin. It's interesting. Does this show before this ends? Maybe for some of you, because you are making a decision about this. So you're not saying no. You're not necessarily saying yes. Temperance. Look at this. Temperance right below where you're trying to make a decision. The Seven of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords. Interesting because then we get the Eight of Cups. And it's interesting because I do feel like for some of you, there may be someone who comes in and maybe through communication, and it may be before you've made like a final decision about someone. Though I feel like in your heart of hearts you have. Maybe you just haven't taken the physical action yet. Um, but in the Eight of Cups, this is you walking away from, first of all, it's finding clarity within your emotional house. That's probably what allows these swords to come out. But you're heading towards the Nine of Cups, which really speaks about inner harmony. But it's interesting because it's like first comes the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords does represent your own truth, like being honest and truthful with yourself. Like, why lie to yourself? What's not working is not working. That doesn't mean what you have to be can't be like amazing and off the charts. But I gotta know, first of all, that I deserve it. But I do get this feeling And I don't feel like it's everyone, but I do get this feeling for some of you, it's like first communication, or maybe you meet someone and that's because 8 is about a new beginning. So that's where this person's heading, right? Towards this new beginning. And it's the Ace of Swords that is kind of activating it. See what's on the bottom of the deck. Look at this, the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. So this is about something that comes into your physical world. And I can tie this back to the Seven of Pentacles because this is like your tree of life. These are the seeds that have been planted. And it's another energy patience, and it's coming right next to an energy of patience and also mirroring patience. So patience was needed. But I feel like this says that certain seeds or a seed, but maybe even more than one seed, is about to come ripe, right? The Empress is sitting with a bounty in her lap. So whatever that may mean, and it may mean in money and in love. I often feel if it's relating to love, it speaks of soulmate energy because I often feel these seeds were planted before we even came here. And I feel like both of us knew it. But then we are born with amnesia. And maybe to the soul, it was a sense of an adventure. Can we find each other? And the perfect time right after. It's almost like after this happens, and then boom, here's this communication. And I even want to say that I feel that some of the lessons that you've been through that, I know were hard. I also I feel like some of these lessons, and I know some people don't like this, but I feel your soul wanted to have, wanted to learn from and expand, right? Because especially if there's like a repeat pattern with something, and then you break that pattern, well, you break it for life. You break it for the next generation. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I'm a single mom and I keep finding one bad relationship after another, or it's one person who is in my life, out my life. Well, my kids notice that. You know what I mean? And I say that because the person I married was very much like my father, but the not the good qualities of my father, the bad qualities, very much. This Ace of Pentacles is kind of like backing up what I feel that there's new things coming your way. Look at that, the chariot underneath that unlimited potential. So I often feel the Ace of Pentacles is like a seed that has roots, and we plant this seed, and then we nurture this seed, which is exactly what the Empress would do. And then that seed will blossom and grow and set off new seeds. So that's why I feel like it's not a one time thing, but there does feel like a truth needs to be told to oneself. And then I feel like that gets the ball rolling. And again, some of you, this communication could come in before the ball even starts rolling. But I still feel like, because it's with the Eight of Cups, I feel like you yourself must have found some type of emotional clarity. You yourself, you're moving on, right? And you're moving towards inner harmony. Interesting. Look at that, the Eight of Cups on the bottom of this deck. Could be two people. Two people. Look at this. Seven of Swords in reverse. Aquarius, I hope you're paying attention. You know, this is giving you a sense of comfort because I feel like who's ever coming next, let's say, does not carry this energy. Isn't a trickster, doesn't need to lie. This is someone is more of a giver. I feel like in the other way, I'm a taker. Like gimme, 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 gimme. Here, it's like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? It's so different that some of you, it's like it could be so different that it may feel somewhat unbelievable. And then look at this, the Four of Wands. Well, first of all, this is the marriage card. And because justice is coming below it for some of you, I call it the commitment card. I feel like it's saying two things here. So it may be cutting out someone's energy, but it is ultimately, I feel like this is really trying to ease your mind. Um, but I feel like it's really important that you yourself feel like you're in the Empress's energy, and that means that, and it's up to you, but it means that it's not that you're saying to the universe, I have to have love. It's just saying, you know, I'm not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I'm just going to live. I'm just going to live my life. And I'm just going to be open, and see where it takes me. I'm going to follow my whims. I'm going to, if I start getting these ideas and epiphanies, I'm going to follow them. This is not just talking about love. This is talking about you and your life and how you have evolved. Um, and I feel like love has taken a little longer, but maybe that's where you had a lot of lessons also. So making a true commitment to someone, after you've just been in one, let's say, well, then again, I feel like I shouldn't have said true. I don't even know if I should use the word commitment. Let's just say you're in a relationship in some form. I feel like number one is talking about cutting those ties, but also because it's coming over the Three of Cups and touching the wheel. I do feel like this is someone who's coming in that's new, that's next. I hate to say next, like, you step aside, it's this person's turn now, because this really represents what you really hope is the rest of your life. I say hope because we do have justice right below it, so it is the ending for some. What may have been like even something long term. But listen, it's not just like this isn't a whim. This is because you have suffered through it. You suffered. And, it's making that decision that I'm no longer willing to suffer like this. Like, why do I feel that I have to put my life on hold? I have a lot to give. And that's exactly what I want to do. And it's you not really putting restrictions because, again, that wheel is being spun by blind faith. To me, that's open and trusting. And then temperance mirroring the Empress, which is all about divine timing. So, I mean, I have to tell you, this is hard, yet I do see the beauty in it. I do see the potential. Let's put it that way, because will it, does that mean you have to do certain things? I think you do. And I think one of them is just thinking about the Empress's energy. Because again, gentle, powerful, loving, nobody's fool. And how can she be that way? Because she's learned to trust energy, period. Some of you, that's what you've been learning, how to read energy. And let's say you were dealing with like a narcissist, because often in Ten of Swords, I do feel I could be like narcissistic type energy. Um, the chances of you going into your next relationship with a narcissist are so slim because I feel like you have learned in that energy, and maybe part of you wanted to help fix them. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you're fixers. But some people can have that type of energy where it's like, oh, try to charm you. Something kept pulling you back. All right, look at this. The Ten of Swords again in reverse. Holy cow. Sorry, I get excited. I mean, come on. So, around this Four of Wands, which really is the most beautiful love card, I feel. And it's saying that it is going to bring you joy. Like, there's no way you'll be able to deny how you feel. But what I love the most is round the Four of Wands is the Seven of Swords in reverse. I can trust this person. The Ten of Swords in reverse, right over the King, also touching the wheel. So it's like this person doesn't carry that type of energy, right? They're incapable of hurting someone in the way that I feel someone has hurt you in the past. I just feel like they're incapable of it. Like, I couldn't do that. It's coming over this king. Your reading is making me excited. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, I love that. Especially if you're working from home. You know, the Empress will take her past experiences. She breaks them down. She forgives herself for the things, sometimes we need to just forgive ourselves, like, in, like, how did I keep ending up in this? Just forgive yourself. You know what I mean? It was a lesson. Forgive yourself and move on. Because I feel like don't spend a lot of time in it. So you have the Nine of Pentacles right over the Ten of Cups. Nine of Pentacles, the meaning of the card is successful self-employment. And I could definitely see some of you taking the lessons you have learned and then doing something where you're helping others. Because remember, I did feel that there was going to be a lot of businesses created this year with you guys, and probably sooner versus later. I felt love. Um, I felt it like in February, but it could be before that. Who knows? Um, but you know what I love about the Nine of Pentacles? First and foremost, I feel like it's really an energy where you can feel, you feel independent. You feel strong on your own 2 feet. In the Nine of Pentacles, you don't need anybody else to take care of you. Matter of fact, it'd probably turn you off in a way. Now, I work hard to take care of myself. And that doesn't leave just because you fall in love. If anything, it may add new avenues to what you already do. I feel like even if this is talking about like in a business that you work at, there feels like there's more energy of enjoying it than ever before. Some of you can be a new job. We have the Ace of Pentacles here, so some of you could be offered a new job. And who knows? Like, if you decide to take it, it's like, who knows? I feel like it's a whole different world. But I love this if you are working from home, and I feel like because you'll love it. Interesting, it's the Seven of Swords is there, so it's probably something you already did. Because interesting, it's almost like someone tried to take what was rightfully yours because you're the sole benefactor of the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands. Well, that's probably why I felt that. And then the Eight of Cups. Okay, there you are. On to a new adventure. The Five of Wands is a lot of arguing. It is a lot of drama. Um, it's an energy where no one really backs down. So the best advice I usually can give in the Five of Wands, it's showing it, is the Eight of Cups. It's leaving it. It's walking away from it. It's the realization that I don't need an apology just to know what I know. I know what I know, right? I don't even need like someone to admit what I already know, what I know. And because I feel like, again, the effect of it, even though I do feel like, again, you went through the tower a few times, now I feel like you're being so honest with yourself. And I feel like because you're looking for better, whatever it may be, it's just going to naturally come. So it's interesting because that Eight of Cups is coming over the reversal of the Death card. And to me, it's like the Eight of Cups is kind of closing that door. So it's kind of flipping the Death card in the upright. It is about a rebirth, transformation. And it is walking away from the Seven of Swords and the Ten of Swords, where they no longer even have an effect. It's powerful. Mm. We have the Moon in reverse. We have Temperance in reverse. Some of you were looking for the perfect time to do something, to end something. Maybe you were waiting to instinctively feel it. But because I feel like for some of you there was a lot of drama involved, it's harder to hear the messages. Though, again, your truth is your truth. Um, and I feel like with the moon in reverse, because it's coming over the Ace of Cups. I feel like what would bother you the most as it relates to inviting someone else in is the uncertainty. How do I know? How do I know? Especially with what I've been through. I feel like it's going to be so clear. I don't know how you won't know. But yes, then you have to trust yourself. So take it slow. You have a lot of energy that speaks of patience, but that may even be in anything that you begin new. Like, have patience because the moon only shows us as far as the moonlight will let us see. And sometimes that's a good thing. I often feel like, especially as it relates to love, when we move so quickly, we kind of miss that whole romantic period. I feel like for some, you may have been like praying, asking divine, when is the right time to like potentially leave someone or something. When is the right time to spin this wheel? And I feel like divine is answering you back saying it has to be it has to be you spinning that wheel. Now you are moving into a destined time. And, it's interesting because I don't want to take this to a dark place because it's really about the light of what's coming. We have the Seven of Wands, defending one's actions, standing one's ground. Coming over the Eight of Swords, though, right next to another seven, the Seven of Swords, but the Ten of Swords above it. Sometimes it's not worth standing your ground. Sometimes who you're standing your ground against in the realm of things are really going to mean very little other than a lesson down the road. So I got to know who and why I'm standing my ground. I feel like it's important that I learn not to get caught up in someone else's drama. It's almost like someone starts drama every time they do something wrong. It feels like, I can feel it in my mind. Like you're trying to drive me freaking crazy. And that may be um, just the way they are. We have the Star. So there's your major arcana. Coming over that Seven of Swords. Star is about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. I love that it's got the Nine of Pentacles above it and also the Ten of Cups. Interesting that this person's looking down at the Seven of Swords. I feel like number one, what it's saying is there was a period of time you had really hoped and wished that someone would come around, that someone would mature. You know what I mean? That someone could be who you would hope they would be, or even maybe even saw a glimpse of who they could be. But there really feels like there was nothing you could do about that. So even though I had hoped and wished, because remember, people have free will, and I often feel when I see the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Swords, even the Ace of Cups in reverse, that there's just certain people that are more than happy to live in that type of energy, where they take and then they fight and then they accuse, or if they get accused, they bring it back to you. I just don't feel anything good. Don't feel anything good there. So I feel like I need to think higher. And if I look what's higher than the Star there, it's the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. What more could I want? You know what I mean? Because in the Nine of Pentacles, it tells you whether you're just now beginning to see the fruits of your labor or you eventually will see the fruits of your labor. It's success within your money. And then coming over the Ten of Cups. All right, we have Judgment, your spiritual team. Dun, 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 calling you to the present moment. Coming over Temperance, that's divine timing. Interesting because it's really like trumpet is really being blown towards the Seven of Pentacles. So here's the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like what it's saying is we're getting closer and closer to that day. The High Priestess. So your spiritual team wants you to pay attention to your intuition. And then look at this. Action steps to take. Passion ignited. And I feel like both are happening. This is true guidance. And this is with clarity. but it is about the action. Like, if I've been asking my guides, and I don't even have to ask, but if I've been asking my guides, here's clear, like clear signs. I feel like for some of you, the reading is a clear sign. But look at that. It's like your spiritual team is saying, this is how we reach you through your intuition. This is a year to really learn to trust your intuition. And yes, certain dreams didn't come your way, didn't turn out the way you'd hoped. But that doesn't mean there aren't other dreams just waiting. I mean, success, love. And yeah, maybe you do need to let go of control a little bit. And because I feel this is more about just going with the flow. You have the Eight of Cups over, first of all, we have it here with the Ace of Swords. And again, I feel for some of you, it's like communication that starts putting you in movement. And then the Eight of Cups coming over the reversal of the Death card, where I wasn't so sure about closing a door. Well, now you are, because this is you allowing yourself to have an emotional new beginning, or at least emotional clarity. Let's put it that way. But I do feel, you know, when you see a lot of eights, you have to think about infinity. You have to think about new beginnings. But, you know, it's all moving you into like really courageous energy, but also this inner harmony. And remember, as you go towards the Nine of Cups, it also speaks about fulfillment of wishes. Well, here's your major arcana, but here's your wishes. Here's your spiritual team. It's like they know your wishes and they want to guide you right to them. I feel like I just caught them, but maybe they want to be caught again. All right, I'm going to take a couple romance angels, because love definitely came up in the reading. And I feel like nobody can force you. It has to be, you get to make the ultimate decision of whether you accept something or you don't. But if you don't, know why you don't. You know what I mean? Because what if I'm turning away something that really has the potential? Don't forget, under this ace is a chariot, and that's unlimited potential. What if I'm turning it away due to another's energy who really doesn't even deserve a minute of my time? I don't know. All right, for I do know. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. That's what I've been trying to say. That's what I've been trying to say. Forgiving doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone. It just means you're forgiving in your own heart. But look at that. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. Well, hello, wedding. There's a marriage card right there. This situation involves marriage. I feel like that may be two different ways. Um, it is safe for you to love. Look at that. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. And you do need an open heart for that. And then free yourself. Free yourself, and the rest will follow. It's time to take back control of your life. Hello. And I feel like I want to take one more on the side. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. I mean, hello. I feel like we just keep getting the answers. And I feel like we're either going to accept them or we're going to deny them. I feel like as it relates to love, it doesn't feel like something, even though I do feel like the Ten of Cups is showing us the potential. Um, Free will really is everything. It depends on how I nurture the relationship, how each nurtures the relationship. But again, I can feel the difference. It's night and day. Like I feel like the person coming in, like when you tell them about the swords are putting your back, they'd be like, "Oh my God, I could never do that to you." And I believe them. It's time to take back control of your life. Come back to lighthearted energy and extend it outwardly. Wedding, commitment. Again, I feel like I may be ending and when I say commitment, something is telling me to take it lightly. Uh, but I feel like ultimately it's also talking about, you know, this, what's coming in next, what you're being guided towards, turning into a true commitment because it's coming over the energy of joy and telling you that this is something you will celebrate. And I love that. Again, I love that the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Swords on either side are both reversed. So it's telling you you don't have to worry that this person will be like someone that you had already left or you are leaving. But also the need for you to find your own emotional clarity, right? To be the Empress. Again, it's the remembrance that, I need to be what it is I want. And it doesn't, I'm not like, don't shoot for perfection. That's not what I mean. You know, I can fall in love and still be a little injured. But maybe this person, because we're not here to fix everyone. Um, but I do feel like, because I do feel like I feel like this is talking about soulmate energy. I do feel like this is like probably who you're going to be with, hopefully for the rest of your life. I don't know what I was going to say other than just take a step into it. And that's what it feels like, taking a step into it and feeling, like allowing yourself to feel and flirt. Feel and flirt. Some of you have been wanting to end something for a while now. And for some of you, I feel like this is giving you the perfect opportunity, the perfect reason. Um, but I don't feel like that's everyone because I feel like this is talking about the evolution of you and now what's coming towards you. It's different. As you evolve, so do the energies within your life. Keep that in mind. Don't shoot for perfection. Don't expect perfection. But because I do feel like soulmate energy, I feel like very quickly there'll be a recognition. But even still, it doesn't mean I have to take it fast because I feel like, I think about like it took 5 years before I made the decision to move in with Sam. Um, and that's a long time. But I have to say, like, there was a lot of romance in that during, we were getting to know each other. And now we live together. So, and it came after 2 weeks after I just broke up with the person I was with for 25 years. I can see myself in this reading. And no, this reading is not for me. I don't mean it like that. But for some of you, that may be how it's happening. So, anyways, I think I'm gonna let that be. Holy cow. Um, Hello, 2025. Goodbye, 2024. Aquarius. What a reading. I feel like it was long, but I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Um, you know, I hate saying this, but sometimes when a reading is long and it does feel jam-packed, you may have to watch it again, or watch it in parts. Because I feel like sometimes you watch a reading with like our spiritual ears, and then I mean our human ears, and then something sticks with us, and then you watch it again, but you watch it with you listen with your spiritual ears, and you hear the messages really in the way you're meant to hear 'em. You know, I mean, certainly that can happen the first time. I do feel like for a lot of you, like signs, you want to talk about signs. I feel like this is a big sign. But then there's more signs on its way. All right, guys, I love you. I thank you. Um, Happy 2025. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.